Quick backstory. After graduating high school, my son moved 3 states away for college. At 19, he married a girl he met. I tried convincing him to wait because I personally felt he was too immature. They both dropped out and moved back here to his hometown. At 20, they had their first child, a beautiful little girl. 16 months later, my daughter-in-law gave birth to their second child, a little boy. After the first baby, my wife and I noticed our daughter-in-law wasn't happy. We both thought it was PPD related. Just after the second arrived, my son and his wife separated. She would bring the kids over for a visit, and it was then she began unloading on us. I know there are 2 sides to every story, but I believed her because I know my son. I sat my son down numerous times to speak with him regarding his marriage. He refused to take responsibility and blamed her for everything, even when I directly pointed out where he was the sole problem. They got into counselling, and for a year things were okay on the surface. Then our daughter-in-law filed for divorce, and my son, 3 days later, was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. My son had forced his then-wife to become a permanent stay-at-home mom at the birth of their first child. She, of course, had no other family or friends here. She knew no one aside from us. She had nowhere to go with 2 small children. Unbeknownst to our son, my wife and I helped her financially and got her an apartment. Before the divorce was even finalized, we received a wedding invitation. I made it clear to my son that I would not be attending and that they would not have my blessing. His mother told him she would see to it that I would attend. I stayed consistent in my decision. I also asked him not to bring his fiancée round to our house out of respect for the mother of his children. The wedding happened on February the 11th. The night before, my wife gave me the final push. I did not attend. Our daughter also didn't attend for the same reasons. My wife picked up our grandkids, dressed them, and attended the wedding. My daughter and I decided to spend the evening with his ex. I couldn't imagine her sitting alone while her kids attended their father's wedding. She was taken aback that I didn't end up attending his wedding. We took her out to distract her mind. I just wanted her to know that she'll always be considered family to us. My daughter also made a joke they can drop the in-law status and just be sisters now. She was very tearfully grateful. I realized just how badly she needed our support, specifically that night. The next morning, my son called me to tell me how much of a horrible father I was for not attending his wedding. A few days later, he caught wind that I spent the wedding evening with his ex. He said that was the ultimate form of betrayal, and further myself and his sister would have to earn a relationship with him on his terms only. Not the idiot, this is funny, you have to earn a relationship on his terms. He needs to check his offering. He's way overvaluing what he brings to the table. You're a reasonable parent who acknowledges when your kid is being an idiot. I don't see anything wrong with you choosing to support the mother of your grandchildren, who he seems to have left in a bad spot. Honestly though, why would anyone care to earn a relationship with someone who puts no value on the relationships he already had? He didn't care when OP said from the get-go he wouldn't attend, because he just assumed he'd get his way in the end. The only relationship this guy values is with that guy in the mirror. I was also getting strong Greek dude who loves himself too much vibes from this. I think he was cheating with a new girlfriend. You don't get married 3 weeks after meeting someone. He's either narcissistic or even potentially abusive, unfortunately. I feel bad for his ex-wife and the new one too. I think it's good that he sees boundaries set by OP and his sister, because he sounds like he needs more experience being told no or that he's wrong. Too many parents don't want to hold their children accountable. I'm glad this father does. I agree, surely he had to be cheating. His wife filed for divorce and a month later he was engaged to somebody else. On the other hand, his relationship with wife number 1 also moved lightning fast. Married at 19 to a girl he hadn't met before college, had 2 babies born only 16 months apart, and separated immediately after baby number 2. He's only 22-23, with 2 kids and on his second marriage. That's a reality TV level of bad decision making. I feel like this is entirely ridiculous. I live with my roommate Matt. We used to be pretty close friends, but over the last 2 years of living with him, we've drifted apart and I'm just waiting for our lease to move out on my own. Matt's girlfriend Sarah pretty much lives with us despite not paying rent. I won't lie, she annoys me to no end. She's an entitled airhead who thinks the world revolves around her. Sarah has a condition where she gets nauseous at the slightest smell and sight of certain foods. She is an incredibly picky eater, and anything outside of corn dogs or chicken tenders makes her nauseous, according to her. Well, unfortunately for her, I like to cook. I love heavily spiced foods and love to cook Asian-style dishes, so living with a toddler who can't stand the smell really sucks. Sarah's always complained about me cooking smelly foods and has asked me to stop or do it when she's not home. I haven't accommodated her since she doesn't pay rent and spends 18 hours a day at my home. Last night, Sarah and Matt sat me down and told me I needed to stop cooking because Sarah couldn't stand it anymore. Apparently, she had a mental breakdown last week when I was cooking curry. She claims I'm making our apartment a hostile environment by ignoring her concerns. I told both of them to screw off until Sarah started paying her share of the rent. Matt said that because he lives here, his opinion also matters and he wants me to stop. I also told him no to that because he's only doing this because Sarah's a baby. We ended up having a massive argument and neither of them are talking to me now. Both are staying at Sarah's mom's house right now. I say good riddance. At least I did until I told the story to my co-workers and they were all shocked. They say I'm a complete idiot. This has given me second thoughts on if I was the idiot in the fight we had. Not the idiot. I told both of them to screw off until Sarah starts paying her share of the rent. Wow, she's not paying rent but is making demands? This is the appropriate response. They can find things to do outside of the house as she doesn't live there. Have you talked to your landlord about the extra tenant? Did you get a choice when she moved in? Or was it like, I guess she's just staying here from now on without a word? How could you possibly be the idiot? Your co-workers are the idiots. Your roommate and his girlfriend are definitely idiots. How the heck is someone going to ask you not to cook in your own home? If someone asked me that, I'd tell them to screw off the same way you did, especially considering one of those people isn't even a paying tenant. It sounds like he moved her in and they're trying to force you out before your agreement is done so they can have the place to themselves. OP, I double down on the petty and cook the trigger foods every damn day until she pays rent or leaves for good. What an insufferable couple to have to live with. OP, up your game and learn how to ferment kimchi and crack open a durian for dessert. Boil cabbage and sauerkraut and Brussels sprouts all day, just for fun. Sarah can screw right off. The nerve of someone who's a guest, I can't even imagine. My 36 female daughter Leah, 18, is a mom. My daughter got pregnant 5 years ago and it was very shocking news, but we found out very early on and she got to end it. A few months later she got pregnant again and I couldn't handle the situation very well at the time, but having my sister, her aunt, talk to her about what she was planning to do, she decided to keep the baby, which I'll admit I wasn't very happy to hear, and I told her she'd have to be responsible about the consequences. Of course, as a mother I couldn't have her work and distract her from school, I didn't want her to miss out on her childhood, so I had to work evening night shifts to care for my granddaughter while Leah was in school. Recently I realised that Leah has been taking advantage of my situation and making me cancel plans so I can babysit for her. I overheard her making plans 2 weeks ahead on the phone with someone saying, "My mom will do it, she has no life anyways," and laughing afterward. Being a single mom and working multiple jobs was hard enough, but since she gave birth to her daughter I haven't gone out to parties. I've cancelled many weekend gatherings so that my daughter can hang out with her friends, and if I did go, I'd always have my granddaughter with me, and for her to laugh about my situation like that angered me. That same day, I was asked by a guy I'd been seeing to accompany him, and I was hesitant, but I didn't want to miss the chance. He's a really nice guy, I haven't been on a date for almost 6 years, and it wouldn't hurt to give my daughter a taste of motherhood when she least expected. I told my daughter that I got asked out for the same day and she was happy at first but then asked if I was going to take her daughter with me and I said obviously not and she'll have to cancel plans for a day. I didn't expect her reaction to be so extreme. She cried, screamed and told me I was being selfish and that I was letting her miss her date just because I thought a guy was interested in me. The argument didn't end very well. I stood my ground and went on that date and she had to cancel plans. But she's really mad about it and has been ignoring me. I love my daughter and wouldn't want her to miss anything, but I wanted her to learn a lesson and be responsible. My sister agreed with me, but my friend told me I should have done it on any other day. Does my approach make me an idiot? Not the idiot. Your daughter is an entitled, supersized idiot. You have created a monster who has zero respect for you. You should quit being the mother to her baby. I can't refer to it as babysitting because I suspect that you've been more of a mother to this baby than she has. She chose to have this baby and she needs to raise it. If she doesn't, get ready to be a grandma again within 1 or 2 years max. Why should she try to prevent getting pregnant again when you're the one facing all the real lasting consequences of having the baby? Yeah, that drove me nuts. I hope from now on OP prioritizes her own life and happiness more. Her daughter has a responsibility to learn how to be a mother to her child, not expect others to put their lives on hold to play babysitter all the time and then say they have no life. OP, your kid needs tough love. You need to stop cancelling your plans and let her deal with her own child. What got me was, I, 36 female, have a daughter Leah, 18, followed by, her pregnancy was very shocking news. So a mother who had her kid at 18 is very shocked her daughter got pregnant and had a child at 18. Honestly, I hate them both. She refers to a baby as it, she is flippantly talking about motherhood. You both just needed to be adults for once and screamed and cried about who deserved a date. How about this? Neither of you. You're horrible people and need to realize what's important. Everyone's the idiot here. You created this situation. You told your daughter she would be responsible for her baby and immediately backtracked so your daughter wouldn't miss out on her childhood. All the while thinking you look like a hero mom to your daughter, and she's been mocking you the whole time. As a result, your daughter is ungrateful and doesn't appreciate all you've done for her. I'm at a complete loss right now. Somebody tell me this is crazy. My husband, 28, has always been a specific person. He sets things a certain way and does things a certain way. It's just all really planned out. It rarely caused issues. I even found it kind of cute. But we've hit a point of contention with our kitchen. He likes certain things to be in particular cupboards, which is fine, whatever, everyone has preferences, but he's damn absurd about it. After I'm done with dishes, he'll come behind me and move everything from where I put it. Sometimes it'll take several hours to pull everything out just to put it back somewhere else. At this point, I feel like he's doing it just to make me angry. Yesterday, I came home from work to the kitchen torn apart for the 5th time this damn week. I don't know what came over me, but I was done. I took everything and just threw them in random cupboards. I threw half of it away. I demanded he tells me what the damn deal was. He completely freaked out, he burst into tears, couldn't even talk to me like an adult, and practically acted like I'd started the house on fire. I said he was being pathetic, and we argued until he got his things and went to stay in a hotel in town. This entire situation is ridiculous. He's more concerned about damn dishes than our marriage. Is he doing this on purpose? I just don't get it. Now he won't answer my calls. Maybe I was too harsh, but it's my house too. I don't get why he won't just let it go. Your husband has OCD or some other mental issues going on, but you are more focused on the actual dishes than helping out your spouse. You are the idiot for that. In addition, you threw away a golden opportunity to say, since it's so important to you and you redo my work anyway, let's make it your exclusive job to put away the dishes, and in exchange, it will be my job to insert the thing you love doing. He burst into tears, couldn't even talk to me like an adult, so I said he was being pathetic. Honestly, that's damn close to a separation-type deal-breaker to me. How in the heck can someone look at their beloved in obvious distress and see it as an opportunity to win a fight and denigrate them? What an idiot she is. I have a husband diagnosed and medicated for OCD. I can confirm this is what we do. I don't make the bed right or do his laundry right, so guess what? He does those chores. We had a rough time finding the balance when we first moved in together, but now we have a split of things that are his and that are mine to take care of. Also, he did the same thing of fixing things I did when it wasn't right. He was always so ashamed of it too, but he literally couldn't stand things to be wrong in his mind. It would drive him insane. Everyone's the idiot here. Although I understand all this, it's not her responsibility to get him checked. It's his. If he has such a big issue with how things are supposed to be, he should have talked about it, seen a doc about it, and tried to solve things like an adult. All this before marriage. It's their kitchen, their things, and if she's the one who's cooking, oh God, in her place, I get mad. I get her frustration and I get he has a condition, but they desperately need to talk and seek counselling. I'm not from the US and my native language isn't English, but right now I'm attending an American university for the semester as an exchange student. When I arrived, I didn't know anyone, but a nice group of friends took me in. My issue is with one of the guys in the friend group, who I will refer to as Jake. Jake likes to call other women witches and me. I told him multiple times not to call me that because it's an awful, disgusting thing to call a woman, but he keeps doing it. The others say it's okay because he's gay, so he doesn't mean it in a misogynistic way. So I picked up the habit of telling him every single time he called me a witch not to call me that. The last time he replied, "Don't be such a witch, you know it's not like that when I say it." I told him that I didn't care that he was gay, he could be attracted to frogs for all I care, but that still doesn't give him the right to call me a slur directed against women. Now he's offended, and everyone is on his side. They say I should understand he doesn't mean it in a bad way and it's their culture which I am visiting, so I should be the one adapting to them and not the other way round. They also accuse me of knowing that the word witch doesn't mean anything bad and that I just have a problem with Jake being gay. In my opinion, I asked multiple times very nicely and that should be respected. But maybe it's really not that big of a deal and I should have just let it go. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Being part of the LGBT isn't a free pass to be a misogynistic idiot. Not to mention that you asked several times, and yes, it is a big deal if it makes you uncomfortable. On top of all that, you get to decide what you're comfortable being called, not him. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Bruh. Jake is an idiot. Gay people are perfectly capable of being grossly misogynistic. It's not uncommon for some of the most toxic ones to jump in about how repulsive women's bodies are. Anyway, you're not the idiot for not wanting to be insulted in a friendly way. I hope these friends of yours are good in some other way because otherwise, I'd dump them.